Now joining me on the news is former Israeli Defense Forces spokesperson Ophir דיין to bring some perspective into the Middle East crisis. Hello דיין, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, how does Israel evaluate the risk of expanded retaliation from Iranian proxy groups like Hezbollah following these attacks in Beirut and across the region?
So let me say something off the bat. Israel is in a situation where it is threatened by both Iran and its proxies, Hezbollah, the militias in Iraq, Hamas, the Houthis in Yemen. And our situation right now is one that we need to protect our civilians. And therefore, even at the expense of, expanding the war or this operation, we have to do that in order to protect our civilians. I live in the northern city of Haifa. I am threatened by both Hezbollah and Iranian missiles every single day since this operation started. Iran with increasing intensity, Hezbollah less so, but still. And so I expect my government to do what it is doing, and it is to eliminate this threat. I think both Hezbollah and Iran left Israel no choice but going forward with this operation and making sure that they can no longer threaten Israeli civilians.
And what countermeasures are Israel and the U.S. employing so far? I mean, to protect naval choke points like the Strait of Hormuz from escalation?
Right. So what we've been seeing since Saturday is a joint operation, a coordinated operation between the United States and Israel to attack Iranian ballistic missile and nuclear program in order to eliminate those threats that are, as President Trump said, not only threatening Israel, but also threatening the United States, as Iran, according to President Trump, is developing missiles capable of reaching the United States soil. So the United States and Israel are working together to ensure the safety of their citizens. I want to add here, in addition to Israeli and American citizens, Iran has lost all restraints, and it is now firing at our neighbors in the Gulf, in Saudi Arabia, in Kuwait, in Qatar, in the United Arab Emirates, in Bahrain, in Oman. And they're targeting those countries who previously chose a diplomatic path with Iran. And by that, they're also putting at risk millions of civilians living in those countries. And so Israel and the United States are not only doing the job of Israel and the United States, they're also protecting the Gulf countries and by extension, other countries in the region and in Europe that are threatened by ballistic missiles of Iran.
And what do you think are the potential scenarios that Israel is planning for, in the event of a negotiated ceasefire or escalation into a wider regional war?
Look, there have been reports today that Iranian leaders approached the United States asking to stop this war. I don't know if those reports are true or not, but I do know that Israel and the United States should not agree to anything less than the full cessation of the Iranian nuclear program, the enrichment of uranium, and of course, the development of ballistic missiles that are capable of reaching widespread across the globe. And so I hope that this operation would last until those two threats are eliminated. I know that many people are claiming that that Israel and the United States are trying to topple the Iranian regime. And I want to say right here, and I think I speak for many Israeli civilians, although we would like to see the Iranian regime toppled, because it is a regime that since 1979 has been chanting death to America and death to Israel, the small Satan and the big Satan. Israel and the United States cannot decide for the Iranian people who rules them. We are only here to allow for the conditions for the Iranian people to decide for themselves who is going to be their leader. And I hope that by the end of this, Iranian citizens will be able to decide who controls them, because we saw that when they were trying to do that in January and in February, they were brutally massacred by their own regime. And I highly doubt that this is what the Iranian people want. And in fact, we hear many Iranian exiles, including, and also people inside Iran, who are saying that they're no longer interested in this regime. So as much as I would like to see a regime change, I would like more than that for the Iranian people to decide for themselves. But I would want Israel and the United States to do whatever they can to allow the Iranian people to decide on themselves, because right now they don't have the agency to decide, because they live under a highly suppressive, violent regime.
Ophir, דיין, thank you so much for sharing these insights with us. We hope to speak to you again as the story progresses.
We'll be happy to speak to you again. Thank you to everyone in Nigeria supporting Israel and supporting this really important cause of neutralizing such an existential threat across the region.
Thank you so much. We all pray for peace. Thank you.
Amen.